guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're back over in War Whales and we are checking out some, well, just one replay, but a replay from our most recent war against Catalans 2014. Not sure if these guys are like a known clan. They have a level 20 clan, so that's nice. But yeah, we end up getting a win. Close war. Somehow we missed 3 attacks, but whatever. We're going to look at a replay coming from Caden Cross, which is Red 5, actually. So, before we get into the replay, we're going to be taking a look at Sui Lalo today. It's one of my more popular videos. Feels like no matter how many times I make a Sui Lalo or Queen Charge Lalo video, I'm always kind of getting feedback to do more. I think people just really enjoy seeing it. So, luckily, I have Red 5, Messi, a couple other guys in the clan. Buraz, they like to do like the Sui Lalo, Queen Charge Lalo stuff. So luckily I got enough content. I usually get a couple of these every war. But before we get into it, make sure you drop a like. Thank you all for the support. Share this with your clanmates, share it with your friends. I'm sure if you're watching this, you probably already subbed. If you haven't, go ahead and sub. And let's just keep spreading the word. I'm going to keep bringing you the stuff that everyone wants to see. All right, so let's look at this base. All right, so Sui Lalo. This is one of those attacks where it's all about setting the base up for what you want for where you want your loons to path. So as always, let's go ahead and mark off our sweepers. Sweeper here and a sweeper here. All right. So obvious things in the base that we could just look at right away. We have dead space here and dead space here. Now, what that dead space is pretty much doing is it's creating a lane here and it's creating a lane here that you can't really pass, right? You got the Inferno and the scatter shot here, but the top side, there's nothing really in here to pull loons through the middle. They kind of want you to ride this outside channel. And then same thing from the bottom. This dead space kind of cuts off pathing from this way into the core, and it kind of wants you to force your way in here. So there's a couple different ways you can attack a base like this. You have an eagle that is actually walkable, which is a huge no-go. So this whole compartment is walkable, and the way you can always tell if a compartment is walkable or not, or a defense is walkable, pretty much, you see how the king pad is right against the wall. If there is a defense that is touching another building that's connected to a wall, it means it's walkable with your queen, right? So the same thing with the Inferno Tower. Inferno Tower is always one tile smaller than a regular defense. However, if it's touching, it is definitely walkable. So a queen coming right here on the outside of the walls can reach this, but she cannot reach the wizard tower. Okay, so just kind of show you what I'm talking about here. That space right there means that this is not walkable. Since there's no space here, this is walkable. Since it's above this line, this Inferno is walkable. The scatter shot is also walkable because obviously it's right here on the outside of the base. So don't do that with your buildings, okay? This is not like this is how you should be building your base guide, so don't do this. But we're going to take a look at how, because red's actually not going to utilize that stuff is walkable at all. We got 4 ground expos. The other expo is up here, but it is walkable. And well, it's also, this compartment here is walkable. Everything inside of it, I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure this guy just doesn't understand what makes a building walkable. But these buildings are all walkable because this compartment size, just anything that you put in there is going to be reachable from the outside. Again, red is not going to be taking advantage of any of the walkable defenses except these ones down here with his queen and his RC. So key things on a Sui Lalo that you want to always make sure you're kind of accounting for. Number 1 is pathing. Number 2, you got to get the enemy queen. You got to get the enemy RC. Whether that be with a Skelly spell or not, a slammer with a dragon, blimp with a dragon, your heroes, whatever it takes to kind of get those 2 heroes down. They are key defenses in a Sui Lalo. And then obviously your scatter shots are also key defenses, and then the town hall. So let's go ahead and start looking at the compartment one by one. So town hall compartment and everything over here at 9 o'clock. If you notice, You got a lot of defenses. Not a lot of them are air targeting defenses. Okay, so we're just gonna mark off the ones that don't target air. And then a single inferno is not a huge deal on a Sui Lalo. So none of the buildings that are X'd out can target loons at all. So while there is a lot of defenses to pass through, realistically, you only have 3, 4, 5, 6 defenses up here, and then obviously the sweepers and the town hall, right? So this compartment is not a big deal for loons at all, okay? And then you're looking down at here, same thing. You have the eagle, which is a huge problem for loons. However, if you have access to it very early, especially like with your first couple groups of loons where they can kind of get in range and avoid that eagle shell, then you're in a good spot. The single inferno, again, not a big deal. You got ground expo, bomb tower, mortar. You do have an air defense here, and then the small expo arch tower kind of thing. And then so in this compartment you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 defenses that are air targeting defenses. The rest are not. So again, really not a big deal for loons. And then in this compartment, a little bit more, you have the scatter shot, which is a huge deal. Air defense, a couple arch towers, wizard tower, and then obviously the expo and the cannons are not air targeting defenses. Okay, so just kind of recognizing the base. When you look at it with all the dead spaces, kind of looks like there's a lot going on. But if we, for example, take this compartment off the table, and then we take this compartment off the table with everything on the outside, and then we take these buildings here off the table, you can kind of start seeing that the base is a natural L. Okay, and when I say natural L, let me just go ahead and highlight where the loon pathing for this attack is going to be. So this is where red 5 wants to keep his loons, all the way through the base, right? So how are we going to accomplish that? How are we going to keep loons pathing this way through the base? Well, it's pretty simple. He's going to be doing something that a lot of people kind of shirk away from doing, but it's very effective when done correctly. He's going to be sending a blimp right here into this inferno, and that's going to be getting all of these defenses here down early with the blimp. Okay, I believe he puts like 2 loons here to get this down, but even if not, it doesn't really matter. The blimp is going to take care of all that, right? So then you got to look at where you're going to use your king and your queen. And again, if you can Sui for enemy heroes, that's very, very ideal, especially because you're also going to be getting a bunch of air targeting defenses. So if we go ahead and just look at everything that we're planning on taking out between just those two, you look at all of this and also these buildings here. So there we have our right side of our loon pathing kind of set up. All right, so the bomb tower and the air defense kind of throw that off. They're not a huge deal though, because loons can kind of get in those quick. And then you have the top side, so 9 o'clock. So he's going to be using his RC. He's going to send his RC directly at this wizard tower. Now, what you're going to notice is he doesn't freeze the inferno tower, and he doesn't freeze the expos with it. I'm pretty sure he could have got the inferno tower down with an ice golem and maybe 1 freeze. You're going to see at the end of this attack, he's going to have a bunch of spells left, so he definitely could have afforded to do it. And what that would have ended up giving him is these defenses here, and probably this archer tower. But he doesn't do that, so we're just going to go off what he plans. He's going to end up getting these buildings up top, and the inferno is going to stay alive. So he still has to deal with all these outside buildings, right? And that's too easy, because since he doesn't have anything on this side of the base to worry about, he can start his main group of loons coming through here, and then this is going to be where he supports his Lalo from. Okay, so I always kind of preach, make sure you're riding that that channel or that lane for the loons. So if this is your lane and this is where you want everything to go, then you're going to have to start supporting this way, right? And that way these loons all kind of push in to join into this channel as everything passed through. Okay, now this top side has a lot of defenses. even if they're not air targeting. So you're probably not going to get the perfect storm of loons all meeting up here at the town hall as everything passed through. But the important thing is just getting enough loons into the core with these sweepers and the town hall in order to get it down. And then even if you have loons that start coming this way, if you have loons that are riding this topside channel, ideally you have two main groups of loons utilizing the same spells, because as you can see past this dark storage, there's no defenses here. So if I have like a heal or a rage here, and I have loons coming this way and I have loons coming this way, they're both utilizing the same spells to get through the base. So it's not necessary to have a huge group of loons all in one spot. It's actually more ideal to have 2 or 3 large packs of loons kind of working in unison through the base. And you're going to see that in the attack. Now, we talked about the king and queen Sui value. We talked about the blimp. The CC kill is going to be pretty simple. Since he's using Yetis to get this down, it's going to pull any ground CC. He's going to Sui his king, probably use a poison. Queen behind, they're going to kind of wrap in here. They're going to end up getting the scatter shot and the air defense as well, which again is huge value. Even if he didn't get the scatter shot, however, it wouldn't be a big deal, because that first hound that comes in can tank the scatter shot and the air defense at the same time. So the loons will come in, kind of everything pass through here. He would eventually get this down, and then they would pass to the bomb tower, then to the sweepers or into the warden. Next group of loons coming in this way, and everything kind of passing through the base. So not a huge deal if it didn't go down, but it does end up going down. So really good recognition there, getting that Sui value. And then another thing that we're going to take a look at is spell placement. So when you have compartments like this, one thing that's kind of difficult to deal with loons is how much HP everything has. So all these buildings have a very high HP. It's probably an ideal spot for a rage over a haste, because what you don't want is loons coming in this way and then coming into this wizard tower, and then loons coming into the eagle, and then say the eagle doesn't go down fast enough, everything clumps up here, and then you end up having just one mass group of loons all on one defense, and then they kind of pass through the base together. You want kind of like a wall of defenses, and the rage spell kind of makes that possible, because it lowers the amount of loons required to take down a defense drastically. Okay, so just keep that in mind when we talk about spell placement. You're going to see he uses a rage. I think he uses 2 rage and even a heal to get to his backside. So really good spell placement, spell value. Let's get into the replay. So spell comp, he's going to use 2 rages, 2 freezes, 4 haste, 1 heal. Like I said, you're going to see he probably could have dropped the heal and just brought 2 more freezes and got more value over here. But only 2 hounds, because he doesn't think he needs more than 1, because he's got this air defense here, this air defense here. If he can clear those, he'll have enough loons to take out the backside. And then his Yeti bomb probably ends up getting this down anyway. So only 2 lava hounds. He's using the blimp with the Yeti bomb, and he's got almost 40 loons. So going really heavy on the loons. All right, baby dragon a funnel, wizard funnel, bunch of cleanup minions. Big thing in war whales. Shout out to TDH. Bring a lot of minions. So let's get into the replay. Starts off with RC, and this is what I meant. If he would have brought like an ice golem would have tanked. Gets the ability off, but doesn't get a ton of value. Gets the blimp going. Blimp goes good. Gonna get the scatter. Gonna get the inferno. Ends up getting the air defense. Pulls the CC. It's a ton of minions. Looks like a couple archers. Weird CC and a witch. Okay, so it's definitely an AIDS CC. Baby dragon's gonna take out a bunch of the minions with 1 shot. Get the king down. He's gonna wait for the poison so he can make sure he captures the witch in it. There you go. Everything's gonna die really quickly. King's gonna come around the corner. He's using that wizard over here at 3 to just keep his heroes close to the wall. King triggers the tornado, but ends up killing the enemy queen, which is big. And his queen's gonna do a lot of work here. So as soon as the queen rounds his corner, we're gonna pause it and take a look at the base, kind of see the pathing that he's created. Everything's tanking. Now the queen's kind of on her own, but she still has the ability. So once he gets his air defense down, She's going to wrap this corner, and I believe he's going to start his Lalo. Once he starts the Lalo, yep, there we go. All right. So flies in a hound this way, and the purpose of that is, one, tank this wizard tower as these loons are going to start coming through. But two, he's going to start on this side because the natural way for troops to pass through this base is going to be around this outside ring. So he's bringing in loons from this direction first. That way these are the first buildings to go down, and that's going to force his loons to kind of come in to this area from back here. Now he doesn't know he's going to get a scatter shot 100% because it is a scatter shot with your queen, so it's kind of up in the air. But if he can get his loons to come in here, after these loons have already begun working on these defenses, he's got a much better shot to the town hall. He's still got a ton of loons that he's going to be able to use over here, so he wants to make sure these loons here clear here and then go forward. Okay, so that's why he's starting over there in the corner. So uses 10 loons or so, finds a Tesla farm, gets the warden down, bunch of Teslas. You ends up using the second lava hound just because those Teslas kind of pop up. Everything's kind of dying quickly. There you go with a double haste, get all his loons in, and then here we go. This is what I was talking about. He's got a bunch of loons coming in on these defenses, and he's got his loons pushing forward. Now his goal here is to clear these so that they can start running up from this direction, and these can start running up from this direction. Then he's got more loons going to come in here, try to get these defenses down, and kind of keep everything in this channel. Okay. That hound's still alive because the first one soaked all the traps. Gets a good split. There's the loons kind of working in unison. Here's the freeze just to slow down the town hall. Now he uses that rage. Now we can see what I'm talking about with, you know, the different loon groups. So right now he has 3 separate groups of loons. These 2 groups are utilizing the same rage spell and getting the benefit from the freeze spell. There's no air targeting defenses here other than this archer tower, and he's got 4 loons here, so that's not a problem. And he's going to probably start reinforcing this way because all these loons are going to come through here. Again, there's a bomb tower here and a warden platform. Not a lot of damage for loons. So now he's starting to think towards his back end troops after this tome goes down. Now if you notice, he just tomed over the town hall with a rage and 2 loons, and they get down the town hall in time. So that rage spell really just multiplies the amount of damage that the loons do. And then right here, again, didn't need to heal, but these loons take down these outside defenses. Everything's going to meet up and kind of ride this lane. He's got a heal and a freeze, and he's still got 2 loons in the bag. Bunch of minions going down. So he could have got a lot more value out of the RC just by utilizing this 1 freeze, but then he probably could have used, you know, another haste and another freeze out of this heal, and it would have just been much smoother. Gets those final 2 loons down. And he ends with like 20 something loons. So very nice Sui Lalo. It's a really fun attack when you're good at it. You know, when it goes right, it's very nice. When you know what you're doing, it's very nice. A lot of bases kind of give themselves away, especially with those 4 ground expos and single infernos and whatnot. So very good recognition. Red 5's been killing it lately with the Lalo. So hopefully this weekend we see some more Lalo bases that he can kind of capitalize his efforts on. But that's it for the video, guys. Hope you learned something. I like breaking down the Sui Lalo videos. There's a lot of ins and outs to it, so there's a lot to talk about. I know a lot of you don't like seeing just, you know, 1 replay per video, but I think on attacks like Sui Lalo or, you know, a Queen Charge Lalo, I think it's worth just taking the extra time and breaking down step by step the process of which the Lalo takes place. So hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll catch you guys on the next video. And again, as always, shout out to my gorgeous wife. You're absolutely killing it, baby, and I miss you very much. All right, guys. Catch you later.